Hello everyone, Lily the Deck Harlot here. Welcome to my channel. And today is day 8 of 31 Days of Tarot hosted by Anthony Dawn. And the question is, what tarot books have you read in 2019? So I have quite a number of books that I read this year. And the ones that I don't have a physical copy here, I'll try and put a little diagram of a picture of the books, as some of the books I read were on Kindle. So the first book that I ended up reading was Tarot Crossroads, at a Crossroads by Cooch Daniels and Victor Daniels. And I actually liked this book, although not sure if it would be something I would use a lot, because a lot of the spreads that they had in the book were from a counseling point of view, and they would have the patient or their client actually pick the cards face up and decide by the pictures how to represent their situation. So, but I thought it was an interesting read, and there's some spreads that I'm sure you can use. When Tom Benjamin came out with his book Tarot on Earth, I thought I'd give it a try, and so I did get the book. I thought it was a good introduction to the Tarot de Marseille, but skimpy on details is basically the way I saw it. And I didn't like the fact that, and I really didn't appreciate the author basically telling the reader to go and find their own meanings for numerology. So for a beginner, like, I could understand his point of view, but at the same time, I'm like, well, this is why I'm buying the book. So having said that, it was a good jumping off point to go and get other books on the Marseille Tarot. And this one is one I read, and it actually has quite a number of ways for you to interpret pip cards. So it's got a traditional meaning, it's got the same method that Tom Benjamin was using, basically, matching your basic meaning of numerology with the elements. And so, I'm sorry, I don't think I have said who this book is from. It's Untold Tarot, The Lost Art of Reading Ancient Tarots by Caitlin Matthews. So I thought this was an excellent book. And before I read that one, I also read the Marseille Tarot by Yev Ben Dov. And this one actually is good in the sense that it gives you a lot of basic information. It's not as exhaustive on the pips as Untold Tarot, in the sense that in this case, if you look up the pip, it's going to give you a simple description. So like if I look at, for example, I'll just read you the description for the Four of Coins, and it says, the conservative and practical nature of the number 4 fits well with the stable materiality of coins. The illustration shows a solid rectangle of coins decorated with large flowers and several dotted circles. At the center appears a shield with 3 fleurs-de-lis, the coat of arms of the French royal house of Bourbon. So the interpretation is material solidity, a secure base, relations with respected and trustworthy institutions, tradition, reputation, and honor, reliability gained over time, preserving the existing assets, doing things in the old and time-tested ways. So useful. Then I read, when it came out, Your Tarot Court Cards by Anthony Dawn. And actually, you know what, I was surprised at how well this was done. And I was also surprised at how much it revealed how much I knew, in the sense that when Anthony would come up and say something or write something down, and I'm thinking, no, that's not the way I see it. So, but yeah, again, she's got a lot of she's got quite a few ways of looking at the tarot cards, at the court cards, and it's I think it's a book to have in your collection if court cards are giving you problems. Then I got Tarot Inspired Life. And as you can see from all the little tabs I have in it, it's actually a good sign that I like the book and that there's a lot of things that I want to go back to for exercises or for looking up something. So, and so I am getting a lot of use out of this book. And actually, what I think about this book is that you have a lot of elements that I'm sure you've come across in other books, but that's just it. It's like they're spread over a lot of books. You might have one element in one book, another element in another book, but I think this actually a lot of them were brought back and compiled into this book. So one that I'm keeping in my collection. So another one that I read was Tarot Elements, and it was okay. It's a bit strange to have a book based on one spread, although I do like the first part where you try and figure out what part of your life you should be looking at, and the process of elimination. So I like that part. The rest of the book are all readings based on this one spread, based on an element. And she basically gives you a situation, gives you the reading with the cards and her interpretation, and then there's a conclusion. And in some of these, well, in a lot of the readings, I didn't think there was enough information setting up the reading so that when you get to the conclusion, you're like, well, where did this come from? Like, you didn't even talk about it in the introduction. You didn't even know it was a problem. So how could that be a solution to a problem you didn't know? So anyway, read it if you have nothing else to read. It's fine. But I don't know. I didn't find, except for that one, except for the beginning, that's it. Now I'm going to look down here because there's some books that so one book that I bought on Kindle that I read and I actually did not like was Mindful Tarot. I really wanted to this book because, well, I listened to Lisa's channel, and actually, a lot of the book is written in the way she speaks in her videos, and trying to bridge tarot with mindfulness, I didn't think was all that effective, and most of the book is really is Lisa ruminating on what she thinks of the cards and how it applies to mindfulness. And like we have this expression in French that translate loosely to, like, people like to listen to themselves talk, and in this case I think Lisa liked to read what she says, so I didn't like it. I wouldn't recommend it. Like, if you're into mindfulness, go and get yourself a book on mindfulness. If you want to read tarot, go and read tarot. And try, basically the only thing at the end of the day, if you want to meditate on a tarot card, go ahead and do it. Do you need a book to basically tell you to? No. So yeah, that one is a pass. So, and I think that's it. I think, yeah. The only other book that I read was in French, called Tarot Pas à Pas. And there was a lot of history in that book. And so but it was interesting. So, and again, it's a Tarot Pas à Pas by, her name is Maria Costa, and she's the one that helped write the book by Alex Jarodowski. So, and I think that will be all for today, and we'll see you tomorrow.